Hola, we are back with some more action here in PNSQC 2023. Sorry that we took a little break. One has to get fed, and we had to eat. We had some awesome gluten-free sandwiches. And now that we are done with lunch, I hope nothing is showing up here. Very good sandwiches. I have here another of the keynote speakers. Yesterday, it was the closing keynote?
The closing keynote, yes.
Yeah. And it was an honor to start talking about and meeting. This is a great thing that you get when you come to conferences. You get to meet awesome people, awesome presenters, and gurus, super testers, and all sorts of, nicknames or powers that these awesome presenters have. So without taking more time, today I have with me JJ Cannegieter.
That's a very brave try.
I tried to say it complete, but it's JJ for easiness. Man, welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Leander. Thank you for the invitation.
I love it. And first of all, can you say your name right? Because I know I didn't.
Okay. In Dutch, it's JJ Cannegieter.
JJ Cannegieter.
But there's hardly anyone outside of the Netherlands who can pronounce it right. So, hey, you, or JJ, or anything else will do.
Amigo.
Amigo.
I call you amigo. That's it's my easy way out in these situations. So JJ, you just closed yesterday with a keynote. You're still here. You're gonna have some more action in this conference. But before we dive into those details, do you mind sharing to the audience that do not know you, what's the deal with you? What do you do? Why are you in this conference?
Yeah, I have about 30 years of experience in IT, mostly in requirements and in testing. And half a year ago, I got a new job. I work for the government now.
Cool.
And since half a year, I don't do anything with testing anymore.
Wow.
And I don't do anything with requirements anymore. I'm not sure if I'm like that. I miss testing a little bit.
So what do you do now?
I'm an advisor of the CIO office. So within the Ministry of Interior in the Netherlands, I advise on CIO levels different parts of in the ministry. Right now, I'm responsible for raising the maturity of some processes within the ministry.
That's good, because I mean, it's always important to have this type of input on government, which sometimes is famous, or should I say infamous, for not keeping up with the trends. What are the best practices? Have the technology up to date for the citizens and the contributors that need to kind of exist in this country.
Yeah.
But I think that the Netherlands are pioneers in those areas.
Do you think? Okay.
Well, I come from Mexico. We have some tough situations over there, and I know that in the Netherlands, things tend to be kind of efficient. Your taxes are kind of straightforward, right?
Well, it's the tax system is, in my opinion, a little bit complicated. But we had some failing IT projects within the government. So we really have to work hard to make it more mature, to get more grip on IT. And that's what we're trying to reach right now.
Oh, so I hit the nail on the head with the taxes. I went straight into that. I didn't know.
No, but we're working on it. We're making progress, and I'm very happy to be part of that, and proud to add something to making IT for the government in the Netherlands better.
And it's not only for the government, because there you are helping all your people or your countrymen that need to get better at get their processes rolling, which sometimes the technology can be a very interesting impediment, or not even allow the people and the audience to do it. And you mentioned that this is just have been like for a short period of time. What were you playing at before, or what has been this trajectory to?
I have been a consultant for 26 years.
Okay.
So been working 26 years for myself and of course for my clients. also in a very commercial setting. And well, then there happened some things at my last employer. I thought my time here is done. That's okay. And then I was thinking, okay, I got 10, 12 years to work. What am I going to spend it on? And then I got this idea working for the Netherlands, contributing to make IT for the Netherlands better.
Yeah.
That's really my drive right now. And that's why I started to work for the government.
But you were consulting before.
Yeah.
What were you consulting on?
Mostly requirements or testing.
Yeah, hand in hand. It seems like today the talk is requirements and communication and testing. And well, you not only that, you are also like here. You're a veteran as well on the conference scene. And I'm curious, how did you start like presenting or coming out to talk to people? How did you got to this point?
Yeah, well, it started a long time ago. I was delivering courses back then, about 25 years ago, and I was actually most of the attendees were very satisfied with that. And there was this one attendee who went to 3 different courses given by me, and we knew each other at the end. And he actually moved to Australia.
Oh.
And I said, okay, well, maybe we'll meet again, maybe not. All the best. And about 2 years later, he gave me a phone call. Well, I think he sent me an email, actually.
There were emails already? Yeah,
there were emails
already.
And he asked, do you want to speak on a conference in Australia and New Zealand? Okay. Whoa.
Why me? What?
Yeah, and he said, well, this one course you gave, that was brilliant. Summarize it, make it into a talk. We'll fly you over. And I thought, let's do it.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Let's tackle this.
So my first conference, I did two small talks on conferences in the Netherlands. So these breakout sessions with 10 or 12 people. But my first real conference was in New Zealand and Australia.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember the name of the conference?
STANZ. STANZ.
Okay.
Software Testing Australia and New Zealand.
Cool.
Yeah, that was really cool, and it went pretty well. I was one of the keynote speakers because I came from so far, and I did a workshop there. And there were some people from a conference in South Korea. They asked me to speak there. So my first 3 conferences were outside of Europe.
So you didn't even submit to a CFP or anything? They were like, we like your style. Why don't you come with us?
Yeah.
And cool. I gotta learn something from this man, because
well, I think there's something in my genes. My father is a decorated actor.
A decorated what?
Actor on stage in plays.
Now I understand some things.
Yeah.
Because you did quite a performance up there in the stage, not performance
Thank
testing,
you.
just like actual performance. It was funny, and
Thank you.
now I understand something. I'm spoiling a lot, but yeah, your dad is an actor.
Yeah, and I think I have something from his acting. I'm one of those rare people that loves to be on stage. Most people hated to be on stage.
Mm.
Oh, all these people looking at me. How bigger the stage, how more people, how more I love it. How better I feel. And my father has the same.
It's interesting, because then you have it in you. That's why people were probably, I mean, I right now can tell, because I already saw him in his keynote with several years of experience, several talks, I'm guessing. We're going to get into that in a moment. But that you were a natural there. And so did you do it mostly for the invitation? And did you enjoy like teaching people and with the talks and sharing that knowledge?
Yeah.
Because you were giving classes before.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how of all the connections, like from Netherlands to New Zealand, is like It's almost literally the other side of the world, right, for you?
It's more than 24 hours flight.
Ouch.
Yeah, you have
That's a
some
lot for the
stops.
trade, because flying more than 10 hours for a conference is like, that's dedication. That says how much you enjoy it, how much you are involved with it,
That's
and
absolutely true. Yeah.
your commitment. So, and this conference grabbed you to another and another and another.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were still doing consultant services while doing
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
at the same time. How do you mix both things?
Well, in in the last 20 years, I did 2, 3, 4 conferences a year. So that's still a lot of time, but on the other side, a limited amount of time. So if you work 1,400 or 1,600 hours a year, that leaves more than enough room to get more ideas, to see what's happening, to see what works, what doesn't work. So my career as a consultant gave me very much inspiration for my talks, my workshops, tutorials. Yeah, and I also do work for international organizations like the TMMI Foundation, the IRAP Foundation, when it comes to requirements for making international standards.
Huh. And yeah, I'm sure that while working over there, you got exposed to so many situations, cool things.
Yeah.
And are you generally like thinking what or hunting for what would you present at, or it just like hits you and like, oh, I should go and talk about it? How was your process on that?
It happens in instance of moments.
Mm-hmm.
I had this today during the keynote of Carl Wiegers.
Mm-hmm.
He said the sentence, "I hate rework," and I thought, there's a talk in this.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
I hate rework. What do you have to do to prevent rework? Good requirements, good communication, early quality measures, shift left. So that one sentence gave me a click. There's a talk in this. I have that more often than I have talks. So sometimes something sticks in my mind, and then a talk rolls out of it. But it's really in an instance of a moment that I see there's a talk in it, and that's also with the keynote I did yesterday. Last year.
Let's quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
What's the title of your keynote?
Yeah, I'll come to that.
Okay, we have a pre. We're setting up.
Last year, I was driving Route 66 through America.
Oh yeah.
It was cool.
How long it took you?
2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks, a little bit more than 2 weeks, because I did some extras with the Grand Canyon and Antelope Canyon.
Enjoying the stops.
Yeah, great. It was a great trip, and I did that after a conference in Chicago, and I was driving out of Chicago, and then the AC/DC song "Highway to Hell" was on the radio, which was pure incidence.
On one hand, the actor side on you.
Yeah.
Because you didn't give me the title of the conference, you're building up to it. It's not like just this. No. once upon a time, in a long, far away galaxy, something, dark side.
Yeah, dark side.
You're building up to just the title, and that's why I could tell when you were presenting your keynote, you have some craftsmanship applied to this. Comes natural to you because probably you saw it at home with your dad and preparing and acting and son, you gotta work from the first act to the second act and keep the audience in the edge of the seats and some things like that. And at the same time, when you were thinking of these requirements and how, when you get the idea and you land it into, do you use mind maps? I got the
I use mind maps a lot. Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna ask, like, do you take notes or how do you draft these talks that you are about to do, and how to say, to keep them interesting or to, because you say that you get more ideas than what you have been able to present, and how to filter, how to organize. And now I have a feeling you have a mind map for all that, right?
Yeah. I have different mind maps, and sometimes a part of a talk is really valuable, and I use it in another workshop, another setting. So I have a bunch of sheets which I can then apply to a theme of a conference.
It's interesting because now that you're describing it, I can see like one of the notes of a mind map for a talk.
Yeah.
That note can become another talk on itself, as you were saying, like just from a phrase that Carl did earlier. That we have like a full presentation and talk, and it's super cool that just driving around and I got the inspiration and then landed. And so in the end, all these highway driving and the music, you landed with a title for the keynote that was
Highway to Hell.
That's it.
Highway to Hell.
And so, mind spoiling it a bit? Like, what was the content of your keynote? What were you sharing with the audience? And
things you should not do on a project. If you do this, you will take the highway to hell. For instance, this when this puppeteer manager wants to control all of the project. I'm a specialist on requirements and testing. I can make up my own process. So please leave that alone. Or projects where they don't have professional testers. If your system is not complex and if your system is not important, then please don't use professional testers. But if you've got a complex, important system, valuable system, please use professional testers. Things like that.
What is the difference? Why non-professional systems, the don't of the system, the non-professional, why doesn't it need testers, professional testers?
Well, because they will test deeper. They will test more functional path. In the same time, their coverage will be better. And testing is a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday I was also showing how some people build a bridge. And if you ask the builders to test it, they will show that it works. But to really test the bridge, you will need someone who wants to break it.
Mm-hmm.
So someone with a hammer trying to break the bridge. And that's a different mindset. That's a different way of looking at the bridge. Not how could I make it, but how could I break it? And that mindset, you need to have that mindset and that skill within your team, within your multifunctional team, to build a real quality product, high quality product.
And this sounds a little bit to me like a shift left TDD, that you already come with the where is it going to break before I create it. That's totally TDD, right?
Absolutely.
Are you a proponent for some of those methodologies or techniques?
Well, TDD is a hard concept to implement in organizations, in teams. because it expects the developers to do their testing first, while in their creative process they're in a making mindset. So TDD, as it was meant to be, it's not really successful in very much places.
You could bring a very good point, because it takes you off of the creative mindset, which needs no boundaries, just to explode and go all over directions. And if you are putting boundaries from the very beginning, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going here, and probably the creative juices do not flow as much as they should.
But having the testers as early as possible in the team, they can do reviews, they can ask questions, they can this other skill they have, this how can I break it skill, is valuable from the beginning of the team or the project.
Yeah, because having those perspectives, and we testers are very good at what could go wrong. We may be called negative people, but we gotta see those flaws at the very beginning and start suggesting. And what other characteristics would you say that you described in the keynote? Because I like a lot this perspective of, generally we have a lot of best practices, recommendations, things to do, but you went 180, like, no, totally what not to do. Any other interesting
well, some organizations say we use only standard components, or we only use standard systems, but there's no such thing as a standard system. There can be standard components, but components working together make a system, and every system we build is unique. So even if you use a commercially off-the-shelf system, you will set the parameters.
Even if the system doesn't say that it allows you, you're customizing it, right?
Yeah. And your customization is unique. And the systems around this commercially off-the-shelf systems are probably also unique. Your data are unique. So you always have to test it, even if it's a commercial off-the-shelf system. Of course, you have to test less, because technically it will work. It will work functionally the way you want it to work.
It's an interesting and definitely applicable perspective, that you need to kind of see the things in this new angle. Because if I have seen so many organizations that, no, we have it like it's out of the box, how it should be, and nothing is different. Or even some that do not understand that. Even I had this experience once, like a customer was telling me, like, why do you want access to my end users or to the subject matter experts? Aren't you an SAP expert? And I was like, first of all, I'm an expert testing SAP. And second, I don't know what are you doing with SAP. Everyone does something different. It's a different flavor. Last customer sold cereal, you sell toys, the next one will sell something else. Do you want me to test you, like if you were selling cereal? And they're like, I'm sure you invoice things differently. That's more than enough to be like, it's peculiar to you. I need to know your processes.
I was once in this project, and they said, we're going to use the system out of the box. And that was actually real fun, because we started the project by going to McDonald's, and we had a team of 20-25 people, and there were standing 25 boxes with McDonald's stuff in it, the hamburger, fries, etc. And so we're going to do it out of the box, so everybody gets a box. But the actual client, turned out to be a vegetarian.
Ooh.
So he said, he opened the box and he said, this is not good for me, I'm a vegetarian. Which showed for me that out of the box is not always in every situation out of the box. There are exceptions that should be in the system. So they panicked, oh, we should have a vegetarian hamburger. And we had to change the boxes. So out of the box is never out of the box.
Yeah. And even with that situation, having a vegetarian, It's not like, okay, we have a vegetarian, everything is now fitted to vegetarian. You need to have like a customization here and one there.
Yeah.
And seriously, so many do not pay attention to that or take that into account. I think it's a really, really good set of points that you are putting there. But you also are coming here not only to do a keynote, you're having more action tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm doing a tutorial.
What is the tutorial about?
About test maturity.
Mm-hmm.
And the attendees will build their own test maturity model. And it's a game, and with cards and everything. And
what type of cards? How is this like?
You're invited tomorrow.
Yeah. I definitely gonna look. Go check.
No, it's cards with practices, with things I think you should do in a test project.
So you created these cards?
Yeah.
Oh,
cool. They're in my room here. Yeah. They can also make their own cards. They're also empty cards, so they can add practices. And what would you implement first? What would you implement later? And then I will take the TMMI, Test Maturity Model Integrated. And if you're interested in TMMI, buy The Little TMMI. That's a very good book. Thank you. That was the end of the commercial part. And we will see whether their maturity model is very much different from the TMMI. And I will learn them what the TMMI is. I will also learn them the dangers of maturity model, because maturity model have in itself some backdraws, some dangers, some risks, and I want to prevent those people from falling into pitfalls they could avoid.
It's interesting because even as you bring this model, a model is like almost like a one size fits all.
Yeah.
And we have been telling, and those are the risks that you're seeing. Even if it's a model, you need to adapt it and see, okay, my arms are not as long, so I need to roll this, and it's not like gonna be good for everyone. How do you make the people, or what do you present to the people taking the workshop to notice that the model doesn't fit them? How is this realization?
Well,
maybe spoiling a little bit the tutorial, but I'm very curious.
Probably this will be published after the workshop. No, I'll start a discussion with them about it. But I will also ask if they could identify practices in the model which are not applicable for them, which would not add value for their organization. And then I say, yeah, great. You found something you should not implement. Yeah,
how do they react on that?
Yeah, but then I can't reach level 2. Of course you can reach level 2. If there's a good reason why you should not implement it, you can leave it out of your implementation and still reach level 2, level 3. By the way, reaching a level should never be the goal.
We want to achieve quality, not just like be black belt or something. You need to know karate and defend yourself, not to get to this given random, because at times can be kind of like very arbitrary, like measurement, like, well, this doesn't fit you, and you should not need this to get to your desired level 2, right?
Yeah, dozens of people added to TMMI, but it's still a general model, and all models are wrong. We keep remembering that. All models are wrong, even TMMI. But it's useful. It can be useful by cherry picking, by using it in a more flexible way. So I also want to give them that insight.
I think that you call it's a model, not a guideline, not a set of rules, not a principle. It's like model. Just use it as a model to keep working from it, as like a departure point or something like that. Add, remove, spice it up, or water it down as much as you want.
Add practices. When I'm doing an assessment, I always have this part in it where I say, are there any improvements, any practices you would like to implement which were not part of the model? And then they start thinking, yeah, but this is going wrong, and I didn't find any practice to solve this. So, okay, interesting. How do we solve it? So at
It's
the
a
end,
solution, not adapting from the model, but finding a solution, right?
exactly. But the model makes sure that the TMI makes sure that you don't forget anything. But that doesn't mean you have to implement everything. No, absolutely not. That's not how the model is meant. It's, if you read the text, then you see that the model in itself is very flexible. But a lot of organizations don't use the inbuilt flexibility.
I think that I'm gonna pull a quick analogy so that we can start ramping down.
Yeah.
It sounds a little bit like if you're working with a recipe for a taco, and the recipe calls for ghost pepper, super jalapeno, habanero salsa on the taco. and probably you cannot take that type of salsa, and you're like, no, I'm gonna keep it out of the recipe. It's a good guideline because it's Mexican food, spicy food.
Yeah.
But if I keep it out, I'm still eating a taco.
Yeah.
And it suits you.
I got this Mexican.
Otherwise, it would hurt you.
Yeah, definitely. I got this Mexican cookbook, which I bought in Mexico.
Cool.
yeah. This is actually true, and I always halve the peppers. Because you Mexican, you
can take a little bit
you
more.
can have more peppers than me as a European. I love the food, absolutely. I love Mexican food, but I always have the peppers, and then it's good for me.
You adapt the model.
Yeah, and then
based on your needs and your capabilities.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried a couple of times and thought, oh, this is far too much pepper. And then I changed it.
This doesn't work for me, but you tried it. That's another good one.
Works for me.
You can analyze the model and you give it a try, find it where it suits, where it doesn't, where it hurts with the salsa and some of these peppers. And I love those perspectives, JJ. And we are getting ready, and I know that you have to go to another talk, not that you're presenting, but we also want to attend talks and
absolutely
grab the knowledge.
I love PNSQC.
It's a very good event, and you're going to be going to more events, right? More conferences. If people want to find out where are you going to be going and what is up with you, where can they reach out to you and follow up?
Well, there's only one guy in the world with my name, and that's me. So you can always find me on LinkedIn.
Are you found as JJ or
Jan
Jaap?
Okay.
Yeah. JON?
JAN?
JAN?
JAAP.
2 A's.
Yeah.
Make sure that you look for him. I should have written over here in the corner his name better, but
that's okay.
JAN JAAP.
Yeah.
With a space in between.
Yeah.
And reach out on LinkedIn, and if they want to send you a note or ask a question, here's your guy. JJ, thank you so much for coming and having this awesome conversation.
Thank you very much, Leandro.
Really enjoyed it, and it's a pleasure and an honor and very fun to talk to you.
Yes, thank you very much, and hope to see you again, and I hope to see you again as well.
Yeah, we're going to be around, and well, we're kind of going to be around in more conferences. Yeah. I hope. Please invite me. But for today, with the interviews, I think we're going to close the stage with JJ, because as I mentioned, in about an hour, we're going to be streaming live Jonathan's Right talk. It's going to be very interactive. Please stay tuned, because you're going to be able to send comments, questions, and have some fun with Jonathan. But after that, we're going to be closing the keynote, and we're going to be recording. So I think that'll be it for this conference season. So stay tuned. This is not over yet, but this is the last interview. If you want to interact with Jonathan, stay tuned, because we're going to have him live soon, streamed directly. A session from PNSQC. We got permission for that. Yay!
Great.
So with that, JJ, again,
thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And everyone, stay tuned, because there's still a little bit more happening here, a little bit more drops in that salsa bottle that I'm trying to bring to this medium. So with that, thank you again, Jack.
Okay.
And With that, Leandro out, Jan up.
Goodbye.
Adios.